Welcome back to Generation Dan. This week we have a great classic episode with the original gang. I am Nick Fernandez.
I'm Atlas Novak.
And I'm Dino the Genetic Marvel. Hi, everyone.
Yeah, we're going ZYX this week.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. And then for you YouTube people, we're trying it on a different interface so you get like a pleasing background and our logo in the corner. Wait.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah. I forget that everything's mirrored. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah. It is kind of like three floating Titan heads, just floating in space, just discussing things, outside of time and energy.
Titan heads? That's a nose for me.
I don't know. I there's a lot of different worlds you could take that metaphor into or simile, depending on what your favorite fandom is. But speaking of which, today, what I wanted to bring up is because I don't know if you guys saw they had all these announcements of new video games that are coming out in the next little bit, and all of them require the new platforms, which I don't have. Yeah. And I'm thinking back, at what point in your life did you feel good at video games? If ever, because I'm trying to recall where I felt like when I was playing a game and I'm like, I am proficient at this and I might be better than most people. I'm trying to think of a time when that was, and I was just curious if you guys knew when and where that might have been. Because Dino, you've been through generations.
Yeah. What an asshole! I'll tell you this much: the last time I was spectacular at a game would have been playing Snake on my Nokia mobile phone. That's I did the full. I completed the screen.
You finished Snake.
Yeah. But that was the goal, right? So I had siblings that were really good at Tetris, and everyone in my family. Or all of my siblings had gotten up to level 99 in Tetris, which is ridiculously hard. Yeah, I was not that good. I was never good at Super Mario Brothers. I would always be I would skip. You know when you can skip to level 6, 7, or 9? There's that one stage, and I'd always go to 9. This is the original Super Mario Brothers. You fucks.
Fine, okay. Fuck you too. That's
no, it was on level 2 or level 3, where there was one entry that you could go all the way to level 9, which is the last level, and I would always do that like an idiot, and I would never win. I was horrible, so I'm not good at games in general. But that would have been Snake. That would have been say 1998, 99.
Okay.
I would have, yeah.
Wow. I guess for me, it was between when I got my Gamecube in 04 to 09. I think that little 5-year period. But I considered myself good at Super Smash Bros. And then I found out later about the competitive Smash Bros. Community where they're wave dashing and like that. Had I known that was a thing, I would not have had that opinion of myself. But, fifth grade me,
I've never been good at Smash Brothers. When my buddies want to play it, I'm like, this is just going to be a bad hour for me. It's not going to be. It's not going to be a good hour. I'm just signing up to be I'm the first one out again. All right, cool. All right.
The first time I ever played Smash Bros. Was on the N64, the very first one it was on, and that was at a friend's house. And the friend never taught me how to play. He was just here, take this.
For sure.
And then kicks your ass. And then I'm like, well...
That friend that's just you just press buttons.
You press buttons and no.
You'll figure it out. You figure it out. That's how you play the game.
Figure it out. God damn it.
Hey, that was my entire generation, guy. You just figured it out.
Figure it out.
Hey, no, we fucked it. Don't. I'm not saying it as a thing. I'm just saying it was the entire generation was either, hey, you're either gonna have peanut butter and jam sandwiches or you're gonna be dead. Just figure it out. Those are your options.
I'm kind of miss the era of like where there was just a linear campaign through a game where like you can pick like easy, medium, difficult. Like you could pick like the level, but it was a single track, and you're just following the story. Like that's when I would like truly enjoyed video games, when it was just like, oh my god, it's like a movie that you play. Like,
so like
that's what
Psychonauts or Mario 64.
Like
I'm thinking Halos. Their like first couple of Gears of Wars, where it was like those were really, really fun.
Dude, Gears of War is an awesome story.
I believe you guys are on the same side. I can't believe you're not ripping on him for being like you three or whatever. Like nothing. No.
I like those kind of games. So this is the thing is I'm not good. So I grew up with like Super Street Fighter 2, okay? But like I saw Street Fighter 1 and it sucked. Okay? Like I saw that game at arcades. Did you guys hold on? You've been to an arcade, Atlas. Nick, have you ever been to an arcade? Like No, okay. So
not a barcade.
Not a barcade.
5 years ago.
Yeah. Which are awesome, by the way. Let's just go on.
I just did a show in one last week. Yeah.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
But like, have you ever been to an actual arcade?
Yes. I went to like a few as a child.
Okay. Because that was like, when I was young, that would have been something like it would have been a pool hall that had arcade games, which that's a dodgy. Like that is not a safe place for young people. That's like, but at the same time,
you get your first sodomy. That's
I don't know about that. I was leaning towards drugs, but there might have been some sodomy. That is the weirdest conclusion I've ever heard from Atlas.
I just tried to go completely over the edge with it, and it worked. So that's good.
Absolutely worked. Worked. I loved it. Oh, that's no, but it was. I remember. Okay,
what is time to be alive?
This was a funny story. Was there were a couple pool halls in my area, and we would go and play pool because you didn't really like. Things were fairly lax. It wasn't a busy environment, and it wasn't a big deal. Yeah. But I would go and I wouldn't get carded, so I would buy beer. Yeah. And the funny thing is, we took another group of younger people to go play pool, and they were like, "Yeah," because it was a thing, right?
Yeah.
And the one girl's boyfriend, he was like super cool. I'm still friends with him on Facebook too. He was super cool because he was already 19, so he could drink. And the funny part was, me and him approached the bar, and I'm like, "Oh, I'll have a beer." And the guy's like, "No problem. Here you go." Then the guy who's over 19 is like, "I'll have a beer." And he's like, "Can I see some ID?" And I'm like, "Ha, fucking loser." It was hilarious. But it was like, that was like, because if you went to a bar, you were going to get ID'd, right? But a pool hall, nobody gives a shit. They're laundering money anyway. It's, they're paid up. They're like, we don't care. Let's fuck it,
Yeah, 100%. You can really tell the places like nowadays that are like fronts for just money laundering, because they're shitty spots. No one's in there, and they're still open. Like if you made
every
it through the
mattress
past couple
store,
of years,
every mattress store, every art dealer, you're like, yeah. I don't think artists are in on it, but the art world is definitely in on. Like that is an organized thing. But I don't think artists are. I think low of them, but I don't think they're criminal.
Some would. They're just, their work is being exploited as a vessel for.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's so subjective and everything. It's just it's a great racket though.
Yeah.
I wonder
it's an objective store of value, right?
Yeah, I'm wondering if that cursed retail space near my mom's house would be a good place to launder money.
100%, 100% it is. 100% it is. You know what? How much you want to bet? How much you want to bet? I just thought of this. I just thought of this. What if by showing a change in name of the business technically they'll have to get new warrants for wiretaps and stuff like that because it's a new business.
So they keep changing to.
They keep changing it for the sake of, it's more of a bureaucratic war than anything else. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like somebody figured this out and said, "Okay, just keep changing the name. Keep changing the name." That very because 100%.
From what I've seen in Ozark, that's exactly what they do. Is you just need to have like a change, and if you change the name, you're also able to file different paperwork, and then you can have another routing for the money.
Well, and then it's just a constant bureaucratic loop, right?
Yeah.
Where we finally caught up. Oh, there's a new one. Now we got our head and shoulder. Okay, now there's a new one again, right? It makes sense.
I watched 4 seasons of Ozark, and I liked it up to a point where I'm not going to spoil anything super big, but basically every time there's a new villain, they're taken care of at the end of the season. It's always there's always a bigger fish. So by the third time or so that happens, it's like I don't care anymore. I know that person to get taken care of, and then a new person's going to show up. It's not going to be a multi-season thing, or just I don't care anymore.
The stakes keep getting raised, which is interesting.
No, but they keep getting raised, and then they keep getting reset, and then they get restart all over.
Well, but the higher water, the next reset mark is a higher water mark, right? Of in terms of
that's the problem. So it's not, instead of expanding the world, it's just rerunning the world. So in other words, you have a villain, they're exposed, now they catch them, and okay, next season, there's a villain, he's exposed, now you catch them.
Yeah. Or there's a villain, and then they're about to get the drop on old Marty, and then they shot in the head or whatever. Just something, you know.
So instead of saying, "Oh, there's a villain," we find out he's exposed, then we try and catch him, and now we found out that he was actually working for someone else, and where you would expand a network of crime, because then you have a boss. I think the full run of any sort of story is when you can get to a final boss, right? Because we're so conditioned to have that idea of there has to be this connection and there has to be a final point, point of origin, that if we conquer, the story's over, right?
But it just keeps going. It's just behind every pillbox and minefield, there's another pillbox and minefield, and you're like, I'm done with this shit.
Yeah.
And it's basically like that retail space. Every time it closes, another one opens within a few months, and
which is fucking weird. See, this is the thing is, okay, when was the first time you played a game where it was cyclical, like Snake, or I think Angry Birds would be similar, right? Where it's just the same thing over and over, just a little bit tweaked. What was the first time?
Or you're just trying to do better at it every time. There's no story to it, 2048, Angry Birds. A lot of mobile games are like that.
A lot of them, yeah.
I played on the PS2 Extreme Mania, which was basically
what?
Yeah.
The fuck is Extreme Mania?
I gotta find a picture for this. I'm googling it right now, and I'm gonna put the picture up for people to see.
Are we able to put pictures up too, or is it just you?
I only have access because I have the.
Damn. All right.
But you can send me something, and I can be able to put it up.
Okay.
What was it called again, Nick?
Extreme Mania. The word egg is in there.
Got it.
Jesus
fuck.
It was like a Tetris adjacent type of thing, but
Egg Mania, really... Extreme Madness. Is that what you're thinking of?
No.
Wow. Extreme. It's Egg Mania, Extreme Madness. This is okay. What the fuck is this?
It's like eggs dressed as different things and stuff, right?
Not this thing?
Not this one. Hold on.
I don't know. This must be the most interesting part of the podcast. We're like, all right, let's listen to them Google things first.
Let's see what's happening in the Google.
That's it. That's the game.
Oh man. Okay, I was right then.
Yeah.
Hold on. What show? Sorry, what was it?
I put it in the Facebook chat. It's because because it wouldn't let me put it in the chat.
It was kind of like a Tetris Smash type of thing, but like your character was an egg, and I believe the different eggs had different like powers or abilities and things like that. But it was quite fun, and you could like go head to head with people, and it was one of the only times that me and my sister played a video game together.
It's like one sunny side up, one scrambled, one's poached, one soft boiled.
No, they were all like dressed in like different outfits. Like one's named was Coolio, I think, and like he had like an afro. There was like a samurai one, I think.
Is this one?
Yes.
Is this that game?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Did they find a way to make eggs racist?
I believe they were just like dressed in like stereotypical
right
costumes.
But like okay, whatever.
That's not good. That's not a good thing.
Names were that racist. Like Coolio with an afro, like Coolio's theme was disco, so it was kind of.
It wasn't Coolio. He was Coolio.
No, the name was Coolio.
No, I know, but that's how they were describing him. Wasn't
Coolio
from
I believe
Dangerous Mind.
He went on to rap afterwards under the moniker Coolio.
What? You're such a fucking dickhead. You know that?
I
hope in the final edit this whole part gets cut. Just just because you were talking, you piece of Extreme Mania. That is
Extreme Mania. My sister wasn't really much of a gamer, but she was always good at Mario Kart Double Dash on the GameCube.
Kart Double Dash.
So, like, you know how there was the Mario Kart on the SNES, and then the Mario Kart 64 on the N64. Then Mario Kart Double Dash, where it's two people.
Okay.
Yeah, you can have them switch, and you can throw stuff, and but she was always better at that than me, and I don't know why, but she would hold the control stick like this. Like it's someone describing Dino's penis, like little thing.
Why would it be? Number one, it would be like this. Okay. They call me Tuna Can. It's
like a Pringles can. Anyway, but just two fingers, and she had like I would always like give her crap for it. I'm like, isn't that like uncomfortable? And she's like, no, it lets you have like greater control over the steering or whatever.
You know what?
So she was like doing this thing.
Yeah, like two fingers, and she would manipulate the control stick with her index and thumb.
And that's on which system? GameCube?
The GameCube, yeah.
Which had the 3 or the normal one with 2?
It was 2. N64 was 3 for some reason.
N64 was had the wiener.
Yeah. GameCube
was the pointy wiener.
Yeah. Very GameCube. Pointy, yes.
But it had the third. It had 3 toggles, right?
Toggles? What do you mean?
It was weird.
Sticks. It had 3 sticks. The GameCube.
No, so it had the control stick with your left thumb. There was like a D-pad under that. On a Game Boy that was rarely used for anything. Like a lot of games just didn't use it. And then on the right side you had A button, B button, X, Y. And then on the back with your index fingers, it's L, R, and Z. Those are the buttons.
I remember that's the thing is I remember my my one buddy, he's had everything. Every game system or like he had both Blu-ray and he had HD. He had he bought one of the first DVD players that you could buy. It was like $700. Like he loves that kind of stuff.
The only thing he didn't have was his parents' love.
How would that even work? Like the
Are you kidding me? You know how much money it costs to buy all that fucking shit? And this guy
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
He didn't give a shit. He was a proper Canuck. He's like, no, love, no thanks. Give me.
I just love the idea of like if Nick's thing ended up being true. The dad comes in one day. He's like, son, you finally got a Blu-ray player. Come give me a hug. You know.
That's a horrible idea.
You notice me now, Dad?
Yeah. Now that everything's in crystal clear.
Crystal clear games. I got all of the achievements.
Oh, dude, and he would actually like spend time doing that kind of stuff. And I'm like, you know what? And he was good at them. Like he was always, but he was also like a really good hockey player and stuff. Like he's a talented guy.
The interesting thing is now, like in order to like become really good at a game, you have to sit down and just like play it for like weeks on end, right?
Yeah.
And I just don't have that type of like dedication and focus to that anymore. Like I feel like I need to be doing, which there is. So like you really have to prioritize it more in your life in order to like be good at them at this point, which is daunting.
No, absolutely. It's weird, right? Because like I play Overwatch online, and I'm not good at it at all. Like, but I'm just putting in hours and hours because it's a fun game. Like it's a 6-on-6 battle royale, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And the character I'm the best with is a little black guy on roller skates, and who's like very fast and a healer. I'm like, that's completely the opposite of me. I'm like, great, yeah. Like it's very, very fun. But yeah, like I'm not
is
very
his name
good.
Coolio?
No, it's Lucio.
Close. So close.
Oh, he has dreadlocks too.
Is his theme disco?
It sometimes is. I'm not even joking. He has different outfits, and some of them are disco based. I'm not even joking. And
do you remember SSX Tricky?
Yes. Age
Yeah.
22 Rocka. It's tricky.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that snowboarding game was my favorite, man. On the PS2.
Or NBA Street, that was another one.
Never played that. Tony Hawk Pro Skater, I think it was 2.
Yeah, that shit was good.
On the PlayStation 2.
I remember I had
used
Tony
to
Hawk
spend
Pro
so much
Skater.
time just like grabbing onto the back of a car. And I was just like, this is awesome.
oh yeah,
No tricks. Just hold on to the back of the car and just like ride it around
and not die.
Map. Yeah, it was great.
I remember playing Tony Hawk Underground and Tony Hawk Underground 2. And like those both have like a story to them where you're supposed to be like, you know, young skate or whatever. And when I was a kid, it was like these graphics are the cutting edge of 3D. And then now going back, like I went back and watched like a playthrough of the first Underground for a nostalgia trip. I was like, what the fuck? It looks like someone melted an action figure.
That's okay. I had that with Stargate. Have you ever seen the movie Stargate?
Yes.
Okay. That was one of the first like involved CGI movies that came out.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not good to watch as like compared to now. Oh, it is horrible. The graphics on the TV shows are better than the graphics that were in the movie. Let's put it that way.
Oh, that's awkward. I know it's always fun seeing like crappy early 2000s CG and stuff.
You know, it makes me think that like were our eyes just bad back then? Like,
you just didn't have anything else for frame of reference. You're like, this is CG. This is what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah, and I guess it's just you're looking at it on the backs of the stuff that you've seen before, and you're like, it's so much better than what we had before, and now it's
so much better.
But like the exponential like change has been incredible, right? I'm actually like really excited to see with the new like Avatar movies. You know how James Cameron's got like four more of them or something in the pipe.
I refuse to watch any of the Avatar movies.
Why?
He stole the name of one of the greatest TV shows ever. Fuck you. I'm
also true.
Like,
I don't disagree with you.
I have to spend time being like, no, the guy with the blue arrow on his head, not the Smurfs. Like, because of this.
I don't think you can call them. You can't call them Smurfs. Like they're gigantic, right? Like let's be fair.
Smurfs, whatever. Like,
yes. All right.
Giant Smurfs I like.
Okay. So it came out 4 years after bigoted. Avatar: The Last Airbender.
They're called the Na'vi. All right. you piece of shit. You
know what the saddest part is? I think Dino is probably the closest of the three of us to being a Na'vi because he's like 6'5". He's the tallest. He's wearing blue right now. So
I have ridiculously long ape arms. I have a tail. That's pretty fair.
Yeah. And he also fucks horses.
Damn it! I was just about to say, but I don't fuck horses. You son of a bitch.
Too late. He got you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just it's annoying that I have to make that clarification. The story isn't even good. It's just cool CG. That's it. It's like the people when we were kids who were like, the graphics are amazing. I'm like, yeah, but it plays like ass.
So
what's the
I
point,
have a theory.
You know?
I have a theory about that. Was that Avatar was the first time that 3D didn't come out you, it immersed you, right? It showed depth instead of it coming out of the screen.
Yeah.
And
like
that's
yeah,
well, that's the whole idea, right? Is that I feel like I'm inside the movie instead of the movie jumping out at me. And it really was immersive because the idea that you could occupy something else, it send people. Do you remember how fucking weird people were after that? I want to be in the Avatar world. You're like, you're fucking weird. Like
I want to be in the. It was incredible, but I want to be an Earthbender. That's.
Why are you gonna be such a loser, Atlas? It's make believe. You can be whatever you want. Okay. Why would you be an Earth like here?
No, dude, Earthbending's fucking awesome. You can.
Okay,
no.
So
Steelbending's awesome. What?
Well, that's Earthbending.
Yeah.
Metal bending is earthbending. They're manipulating the imperfections in the metal.
Listen, I know what it is. Don't step to me, young man, okay? What I'm saying is that you would have the only way the earthbending gets really wild is when you're unbelievably good. Okay?
Yeah.
Whereas airbending, you gotta be good. You can't be bad at airbending. Right?
Yeah.
Then water, bloodbending? You kidding me? That's better than metal bending.
But okay, but let's be realistic. I don't think any of the three of us would be a bender. I'm a metal bender. It would just be this thing where we're like getting a little rock or like some water out of a pond or something, and we're like trying really hard. Like we would suck. The three of us at no matter what kind of bending it is. Fire bending, sure. I would have set my apartment on fire by now.
100%.
Dude, I don't know why you guys. I would just be the Avatar. You know.
Yeah, because
listen.
Fuck you.
All of
just so everyone knows, this past week when Nick was absent, he was on a beach, and I'll tell you, he hesitated little longer than messaging us when he got back, a little longer than that, okay, before he posted pictures of him topless on a beach, okay? And you know what? Kudos to you, but also fuck you, you asshole.
Well,
he didn't. He was like, okay, listen, I got to not drink water for a few hours and exercise, and then take a bunch of pictures of me. 100%.
Actually, that was on the last day, and after eating an obscene amount of food. And to be fair, I did do a bunch of push-ups right before taking that. I did like 40, 50 push-ups. But fair. Like, you know, you got to get the pump going, and then you know get them shoulders. But you got to give the people what they want. Also, I worked really hard for this. You know, yeah.
I worked really hard for this. So
yeah, you look great. You look
really
great.
hard for the only reason that you can't see man boobs right now is because I'm wearing a black t-shirt. That is the only reason. Or either that or I gotta tie it down like I'm Hillary Swank in $1 Million Baby. Like, yeah.
That's
Nick is pretending to have seen that movie.
I have.
He
seen
lived
$1
it.
Million Baby.
He had some itty bitty titties.
I have seen it. It was a very, very jarring movie to watch. I think I watched it with my family when I was pretty young, and just the I think we saw it in theaters too, because like the I still remember like the feeling in the room at the end of that movie where everyone's just like bummed, and you're just like, all right, so he killed her today. All right.
What was a movie you saw when you were like admittedly too young? Like your parents were like, yeah, it's probably okay if they go.
I was just about to ask the same question.
Yeah.
I think it was my dad showing me Jurassic Park. But
it's a violent movie, man. Like,
very violent. And I want to say I was like 5.
Jurassic Park when you're 5. That's kind of that's skirting the line there, buddy.
Yeah. That's damaging.
I want six maybe, like, because I remember it, so it's got to be six or I let's go with 6. Mm-hmm. That's probably the earliest I remember, anyways.
What about you, Atlas?
I think the best example.
Running up and down the stairs because we were watching in the basement, and like during the scary parts, I would run up the stairs.
Going up the stairs and going down the stairs. And
can I come down now?
And going down the stairs and going up the sideways stairs. Yeah.
But you could sit on the stairs and see the TV. So but there was like a part where like the wall like would cut off your view. So you would
like
just
poking down
up a step and then go back down a step, and you can.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
My girlfriend, so she's really into horror movies, and she had me watch the original Halloween last night. And like I had seen it like 10 years ago, but I barely remember anything.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm going to show you one Halloween movie a week until Halloween, because like she said, there's 6 good ones. So we're 6 weeks out from Halloween. So she covered up my eyes when he kills the dog. I was like, aw, Pupper, no. I don't like when they kill the dog. Anyway,
I haven't seen any horror movies.
You're a loser.
Ones I've seen.
So you're such a chicken shit.
Probably Strangers.
Okay.
Which is a pretty disturbing one.
Most of the horror movies I've seen have been because of her. I really don't like them. I like comedy horror. I liked Cabin in the Woods and Zombieland and Shaun of the Dead and shit like that.
I really like Cabin in the Woods. Cabin in the Woods was awesome. Have you seen Tucker and Dale versus Evil?
No. Is that good?
It's really funny. Like it's very enjoyable.
I'll have to give that a try.
It's very hijinks / shenanigans focused.
Good shit.
Which I'm like, that's top tier stuff.
I had this idea for a horror movie where it's a horror movie villain who is shitty at his job, so every time he goes to kill someone, they just beat the crap out of him. And then he has to like go train to be a better horror movie villain. And then Katie was like, yeah, that already exists. I'm going to show it to you later. I was like, oh shit. So that sucks that it's all been done. Woohoo. But to answer Dino's question, I think the most prominent one that I remember was like my cousin showed my sister and I the first Ace Ventura, the transphobic one with the,
Wrinkle is Einhorn. Yeah.
Yeah. Wrinkle is Einhorn. Einhorn is a man. Yeah. So
where'd you get this gum? None of your damn business, Dan.
So yeah, 6 or 7, I think, when she showed me. Yeah, I have a show. I have a comedy show tonight that cousin is coming to see me at. So at the time of hearing this to that cousin, it'll have been a month later. But yeah. So
time travel.
Well,
thanks for that.
Yeah, it's not that she scarred me for life. It was just like that was definitely not appropriate for a 6-year-old at all.
You know what scarred me? Not for life, but for a real long time, is that every single time that we had a family get together where it was like the kids there were me, my sister, and my cousins, my 2 female cousins, the only 2 movies that they would put on, and I would get outvoted every single time. The only 2 movies, and this was for a period of probably like 6 or 7 years.
Wow.
Was Mean Girls or White Chicks?
I've never
seen
Mean
Girls is great though. That's like
Mean Girls is great.
Mean Girls is great. However, when you watch it like 3 or 4 times in the span of like 2 months, it gets old. Like, it's fair. A good movie. Yeah. It's a good movie, but like at volume, like I'll watch the fuck out of it now. Like, but like because I've gotten distance. But the volume was. And
also, Nick loves chicks. Just so everybody knows, Nick loves chicks. That's why.
Sure. But the same thing with White Chicks though. Funny movie, but like when you see it so many times, oh my god, it gets real old.
I've never seen White Chicks. Is it funny?
It is funny. Lower your expectations, you'll have a great time. It's a really good. It's really
that's what happened when I saw the movie Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, that was fun.
A couple of weeks ago, I was like, I'm expecting nothing out of this movie. It's probably going to be stupid fun. It was indeed stupid fun. I had a good time. Yeah.
And at the end, you're like, this was a good experience.
Yeah, except for the family. Like I went and saw like a 10 p.m. showing on like a Wednesday, and it was these two parents and their fucking 3-year-old in an R-rated movie at 10 p.m. at night. Fuck you, people. That's messed up.
People that bring children to the movie theater, you're garbage.
Unless it's a kid's movie, of course.
No,
but
no. Fuck you. Fuck you. Okay.
Yeah.
You have matinee family movie time. You have that. You can take that all you want. Okay. Horror movie, unacceptable.
Yeah.
Action movie, unacceptable. Thriller or something that's suspenseful, absolutely not. Okay. You're cut off from those movies. You have children and you're going to bring the children. No, you have afternoon family movie matinees. That's it.
I just imagine having a kid and he's like, sorry, we have to leave you inside. We can't bring you to anything. It's my personal rule.
Yeah.
I would do that
on a podcast several years ago, and I got to stand by it.
I got to stand by my rule I set for myself. Yeah. Wait, Dino, what was your movie you got shown too young?
Time Cop.
Time Cop. Okay.
Which is full spreading a lady right out of the gate. You're like, huh?
That's
and the best part is it was a bunch of young people from the same Kingdom Hall, and the one guy's parents, and the dad, he was very low key, like no big deal, but his mom not so much. And all of a sudden, and remember, we're young Christian people, right? We're very, very, we saved ourselves for marriage, that kind of stuff, okay? And sure as fuck, all of a sudden, naked woman spread eagle on the screen. And everyone just goes silent. Like, and yeah, that was, and she's like, oh, turn it off. And the dad's like, oh yeah, we should turn this off. I'm like, he was not going to turn it off. She turned it off though, and we're like, that's the only part. There's no other nudity, just the one part. I never got to see the movie again.
But it's like one of those things where it's like imprinted on your retinas for the rest of your life,
forever, forever. Like that was
like,
oh yeah.
Now,
there's a Pat Oswalt bit.
How does this relate to the said Time Cop? I've never seen. I'm curious.
Okay. So Time Cop was a movie, and one guy who runs the Time Cop machine that sends people into the past is on a VR thing having sex with a woman. And the VR thing is just a video of a woman spread eagle going, hey, and coming towards him. And their boss comes over, hits it off his head. He's like, hey, no VR at work. And he's like, okay. It's just a random scene to make it, ooh, future.
Yeah, for like to set the scene. It wasn't like part of the plot. Yeah.
I don't even remember how old I was. I just remember go, what the fuck is that? Yeah.
And you're like, puberty online.
It was that's pretty much like I had already I'm Greek. We had been to Greece. I had seen the billboards. They're fantastic. I love them. But at the same time, this was moving, and I'm like, oh, they move. Like it was not.
Wow.
There's like a Patton Oswalt bit where he shows his daughter Schoolhouse Rock, and there's like one where it's like telling you that there's a skeleton inside you, and the skeletons like pop out of people's bodies, and like that's part of the thing. And then later he is trying to turn on the TV for her to like watch something, and the thing that comes on like when he first turns on the TV before he can pick the channel is the Benicio del Toro Wolfman remake where he's like Wolfmaned out. So like her eyes get really big, and he's like, "Oh shit!" And he's like flashes forward to when she's like 20, and she's like, "Yeah, the heroine takes care of the werewolf nightmares, Dad. Thanks." Like, so later he goes to put her to bed, and then she runs out, being like, "My skeleton's gonna come out of my body," and he's like, "Huh?" And then he finally gets her to go to sleep, and then she starts laughing. And then he's like, what's wrong? And then she goes, the doggy was wearing a shirt. And he's like, so if I show her Finding Nemo, I'm also going to show her Apocalypse Now. So it's going to be like, the two fishies got eaten by a whale. I know, sweetie, but the helicopter man played music. And I love him. He's great.
Oh, the doggy was wearing a shirt. That's you know what?
Yeah.
That's the thing is parenting. There is no good way. Like, you know, people have tried everything, and things get wonky for weird reasons, man. And like, oh, the poor kid, the doggy wearing a shirt. That's fantastic.
Doggies.
Reddit thread a few days ago where it's like, what's the fuck it, we'll do it live equivalent parenting, and all the answers were like, everything. Like, yeah.
Like, that's the thing is, I don't think you comprehend the knowledge your parents give you until maybe your 30s, even like mid to late 30s. You know what I mean? Like, where you can impart that knowledge.
Comprehend my parents still. I've comprehended some of it.
No, but no, it's not that. It's more so that it's like the time when normal people have kids isn't a time where you're able to reflect and say, you know what, that was good advice when I was that age. Like, you don't really that isn't an active thought process in your mind. Whereas at this point, like, I'm thinking, you know what, like, I'm trying to collect as much knowledge as possible in this stage of my life. And it's more that I'm just trying to figure out like lessons that could have that weren't applied or that I ignored and how that functions and all that kind of stuff. But I'm only doing that now, right? So it's like when you have the energy to have children and everything, where you're still trying to figure out how to pay bills on time, right? It's weird, but it's true. That's the thing is, youth is wasted on the young. Fucking sucks.
Yeah. No, I've heard.
Generations.
Yeah, definitely. That's
I've never seen him so smugly sip a beverage. Just if you're not watching the video, this piece of youth is wasted on the young, and then
it's like that's like some
Starbucks drink. Just
their shit on him. Yeah.
There was ice in that zip. That's why I'm trying to get it out. Okay?
Yeah. You just,
You know what? I don't have to be shamed, sir. I don't have to be shamed. No, it's but that's the thing is, like, you never really realize what's taking over in your mind, right? Like how it's going to form you later, either, right? It's just one of those things that's weird, right? That's why, like, when you brought up video games, I was like, fuck, I can talk video games till I'm purple in the face, but like. At the same time, like, I've played this Overwatch game. I have like 100 hours in a couple of characters where I've just played. The games are like anywhere from 3 minutes to 10 minutes, right? Yeah. And I'm playing 100 hours of it, right? But I'm still not fucking good. Like, I'm still like, I'm better than a lot of people, but it's like not really. Like, I'm not gonna get much better than what I am right now. So, but I'm like, I just play.
My friend Trace is really good at Overwatch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
it's a hard
I'm aware
game.
that there's a character called Tracer, but
that's why I was like,
No. His name's actually Trace. Like, it's his real name.
That is a weird ass name.
Shout out to Trace. Really, Dino the Genetic Marvel? That's a weird ass name. So said Atlas Novak. Yeah, like
I'll tell you. Listen, I am very good at keeping my cool while playing that game because I'm like, it's just a game. I don't really care. And I'm like, if I suck, I don't really care. If someone else sucks, I don't really care. It's not a big deal. Until I got like attacked in one game, like this guy kept on hunting for me and kept purposefully killing me because I was a healer.
Oh,
and his name was Christopher, and I'm like, fuck you son of a bitch. I was so mad because I'm like, no, you can't go. No, Christopher's not a name. It's a sound. It's not. I do not accept it.
It's an intonation.
I'm like, nope, I can't. That's not a name. I'm like, listen. We have to put up with people named Topher now. That's some bullshit. But okay, fine. It's the other half of the name instead of Chris. Fine. But Christopher, fuck off.
Just
get
sound
the
like a
fuck
body
out.
part, or like somewhere where a
I got stabbed in
ligament
my
attached.
Christopher. Right in my Christopher. It's absolutely a body
The
part.
Achilles.
I feel like if you're gonna
starts
say it
on
like
the
that,
Christopher.
you gotta do it like the old man. I got stabbed right in my Christopher.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was right, just not the upper Christopher, right in the middle,
lower
like between the lower Christopher, just the top of it, right. Ugh, it's horrible.
And now when I fly, it gets inflamed with the pressure.
So I keep my baby aspirin on me at all times. You can chew it. You chew it. It's not very good, but you can chew it and it'll help. It helps with those things. You learn these tricks with age.
Great way to start a conversation. You pull out the baby aspirin, you look to the guy next to you. That's the Christopher. And he goes, what's the Christopher?
Yeah. He'll say it's my goat. And you're like, hey, I got some baby aspirin if you want. Maybe he has an extra croissant I could have. I don't know. It's a cheap flight.
Yeah. And you go,
there was
what's the Christopher with you?
I just rewatched that episode of Curb where he pretends to be an Orthodox Jew to get Richard Lewis a kidney because like the guy who runs the like donor list is Orthodox, so he like spends the whole episode trying to like get kiss up to him, and then he like wife swaps with Jeff, and then they're sleeping on the floor. It's fucking hilarious. But just the thing where he's on the ski lift with the guy's wife, and she's like, I can't be with a single man during sunset. I gotta one of us is gonna have to jump off. And then she ends up jumping off the ski lift, and then he just calls Richard Lewis. He's like, yeah, it's not going to happen. We're not getting you a kidney. Such a good show.
You know what? I kind of want to see him do an episode around getting a COVID vaccine because I think that would be fantastic.
I'm sure. Like, because I know the modern season was like he started wearing a MAGA hat so people would leave him alone.
Yeah.
Like,
so it was a biker, right?
Yeah. That's right. But like I could easily see the like something related to the COVID vaccine. I had an idea for a season where like now that Seinfeld's getting put on Netflix, it's all these kids generations discovering it, and he's like upset with them because he's like, you weren't there originally. You're not going to understand the nuances. All these damn kids. Like I could just easily see him.
You won't even know that the dad changed.
Yeah. You won't even know why Kramer was swimming in the East River.
Oh god.
Yeah.
The lobster bisque. No,
yeah. I've yada sex. Yeah.
No,
I wanted to bring this up even though both of you guys are Canadian, but so at the time of recording this, it is the 20th anniversary of 9/11. So people are getting this a month later, but I'm just wondering like where were you and how has it affected you or whatever? I guess for Canada it's like whatever, it's next door.
I believe I was either at school or home. But my mom's a teacher and like they sent everyone home, I think, pretty like because this happened in the morning, right? So around like before lunch, everyone got sent home from school, and like parents like rushed home and picked people up, right? And my mom's a teacher, and she might have either been like on a leave, so she was like home and like we lived down the street from our school, so she just came and picked us up. But I just remember it was like watching the news or like while my parents are trying to distract us or whatever. But yeah, not like super vivid memories. How about you guys? I was 5.
Fuck.
I was, I think
96,
8.
Right? So I was 5.
It's like oldest Gen Z, youngest millennial. But
yeah.
So I was in like 2nd grade, 3rd grade, and we're in our classrooms, and we got the over the intercom like two planes have hit the Twin Towers in New York, and my teacher was British, and so she was like, what the bloody hell are the Twin Towers? Like it just didn't like translate to her. Yeah. She's like, well, that sucks. Okay, and then just she had this attitude of like, what am I supposed to do about that? Like, it's in New York, you know?
Yeah.
So she just like kept teaching, and like, and for us kids, you know, we're like 7 or 8. We're just like, oh, weird. Okay.
Yeah, there's no sense of context, right?
Yeah, like we weren't really aware of the gravity of it until like I got home and like my mom's like,
which is interesting when you hear the stories about like the teachers that are like, we need to show them, they need to, and then like wheeled the TV in, like what a weird thing to just like traumatize a kid in the morning and just be like, all right, so any building you be in forever could have a plane hit it. Have a good day. like
what about you?
Well, two things. I read, I think it was on Reddit, somebody sent it to me, was what's the worst thing you've ever done in your life that made, like, where you realized that you were the asshole? And one woman, she was like, it was my fault that everyone in the daycare watched the second tower fall, because she's like, she was like 3 years old or something, and they had cartoons on. And she was being a pain in the ass because she didn't really like cartoons, so she was trying to occupy herself.
Yeah.
And she got into it with the caregiver for all these kids. And she was like, "Oh yeah, well you want to watch the news?" And she's like, "Yeah, I do." And feeling that she had gotten a victory, the woman turned it to the news on the TV, and it was this live coverage of the first tower, and then the second tower got hit live on TV. And she's like, that's how everyone in my daycare watched it, and it was all my fault. And you're like, what?
And she was 3 years old to bring that up. Jesus, dude.
Yeah,
that's
man.
crazy.
And you're like, that's you're the asshole. Like, just random, like, how would anyone know, right? Like, she's in a daycare. The lady working, she's not going to know. Just turn on cartoons for these kids, right?
Yeah.
I was like, that's brutal. For me, I was here, but all of my family was in Greece at the time. We had planned a big vacation, and we had staggered all of our vacations so that my dad's shop would only be closed for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But then the rest of the time, someone was always there to keep it working. Yeah. So I was actually the first one back, and I was in college. So I came back. I was by myself, had the house to myself. I was engaged at the time. Still girlfriend, I think, at that time. 2001. Yeah, no, newly a girlfriend. So I ended up getting in touch with her, and she was up in Tobermory, I think. Yeah, she's at her grandma's place, so I ended up driving. But it was like, I went to college, and it's on every TV, and I was like, "What happened?" And I'm like, and people were freaking out at my college. They're like, "Oh, are we going to be attacked?" And I'm like, "No." Like, so this is like, well, no. Well, I was just like, "No, we're Canada. Nobody hates Canada. We're useless. Like, we have resources. You want some trees? No problem. We got rocks. Some pretty rocks. Trees.
Jesus Christ.
Like, so." That's the thing is, like in the U.S. where people don't travel a lot, so they don't really necessarily understand how perception is outside of North America or our country. So at my age, like I was 21, and I was, or actually no, so I was 21, and at that point in time, I just came back from traveling to Greece for a month, right? Like, so people in my same age group were like, no frame of reference for how people view Canada. They just know that we're close to New York. You can drive to New York. You can have a vacation in New York. Yeah. Are we at risk? And I'm like, no, that's not how the world works. This is targeted. Well, it's Canada. Nobody gives a shit.
It's a big city, and they were going after New York and DC. So,
yeah. Well, yeah. There's to stay away from all that stuff. But ultimately, what are you going to do? Well, there was a huge panic around the CN Tower, because the CN Tower fell, like huge amount of lives at risk. Yeah, so certain, like downtown, I believe was evacuated. I think it was evacuated. Oh, wow. Where everyone just left their offices. They're like, "Fuck this! I'm going home," and everyone was just mass evacuation of downtown Toronto. But like at the same time, it's not that. And even back then, it wasn't that insane. Like, yeah, there were a lot of people, but you could funnel everybody out. Now
Also,
you're fucked.
It is pretty crazy to think that like Canada's gonna get attacked at the same time as the States, because, like, from the antagonistic perspective, like, you got to feel like they're even in the Taliban, there's a few people that are like, I mean, Canada's nice though.
Death to
like,
Canada.
like death to the West. But like, I mean, I've been to
Canada
Niagara
is
Falls.
nice. They speak French.
Like,
they have nice food.
Yeah.
Long
Have you
fields.
Have you had poutine?
Yeah, that's fair. They take all the leftovers and put them on potatoes. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Then cheese. Lots of cheese.
I just love that the idea of the guy in the Taliban. It's like, we're keeping it south of the border, right? Like,
yeah. And they're like, what, Mexico? No, not Mexico.
No.
Just the U.S. Just hit the U.S.
Yeah. I have tickets for skiing in Whistler. Like,
I don't know. Knowing what the U.S. has done and like all the history and stuff, especially because like first off, the Taliban like offered to give Osama bin Laden over like pretty much immediately. And then they just decided I'm not going to get into it very much, but just there's
like, a whole. I was watching something today.
We suck. That's it.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's not say the U.S. No, that's not. Let's more so that global politics are not people centric. Let's call it that.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Right.
There are other motives.
Yeah, and you know what? They are destroying our world and our way of life, and that's not on person, that's on people, and that's a whole other issue, right? Because
that's they're destroying our world and way of life for money and bananas. So,
all right, let's keep it on the fun idea of the Taliban, like
the fun idea of the Taliban. Okay,
fine. Was like
loving Putin. All right, like,
death to the West, but in this place, not north. Not the south, but right in the middle.
I love carne asada. I love carne asada.
That's a fair reason to not have terrorism. Like tacos.
That's what I'm calling the episode now. The fun idea of the Taliban. No, I'm going to call it something else.
Don't call it that.
I'm not going to. Don't worry. Exit through the gift shop was already a stupid enough name as it is. Like, which Nick was not here for.
Oh, Nick.
I'll listen and I'll catch up.
I'm not going to tell you what it is because they heard it last week. But Nick, go listen to it.
Oh no, I know what it is. Yeah, I remember that message. I caught up on it even though I was camping.
All right. You caught up on it. Okay,
I remember.
Yeah.
I didn't have the service, but then I got all the messages later.
It's my newest bit that I'm doing, and it's really fun. It's a fun bit to do.
It's fantastic. It is great.
That's a fun bit.
Traumatic. Definitely traumatic.
Yeah, definitely traumatic for sure.
The best part is the conclusion. Where like, are you in a museum? You're like, because that's where immediately everyone's mind goes. Like, yeah, that's like a museum. That's what they do, right? Like, as you have to go through. Yeah,
the gift shop, and she's like, no, I'm about to blow your fucking mind right now. Yeah,
absolutely.
If you want a fun like layout of gift shops, if you look up the map of the Vatican. Like the tour you go on there, I'm not kidding you. You pass through no less than 12 gift shops.
12.
No, like at least. Like every few rooms you go through, there is a kiosk, a room, a something where you can buy a rosary, a prayer coin, a statue. Like they have so many avenues so that like even if you were like, man, I really like that candle, I don't know, maybe should I go back? Oh my god, they're right here. Like they're
okay. So would you equate that to like the duty free at the airport? Like
no, way more frequent than that.
Way more frequent than that?
Way more frequent.
Oh god.
Yeah. It was like comical. It was like every single time I went around the corner, I'm like, Mom, you think there's another one? And like we would turn, it's like, oh my god, there's another one. Like we went up, like climbed to the top of of the cupola when we went to the Vatican, and like you had to go like around the last part of it is like a winding staircase where you have to hold a rope to get all the way up.
Yeah.
And when you got up there,
I can't go up that.
Yeah, you wouldn't have not have been able to fit. But when we got to the top, there was like a railing and
I'm confused too.
You wouldn't not have been able to fit.
Yeah, you would not have been able to fit, is what I said. I might have stumbled through it.
No, that's English. I'm just trying to.
It's like the negative. Yeah.
It's like a past participle because you would not have been able to. Yeah.
Do not school me, son. I will break you in half. Go on with your story.
Participle?
All right.
Participle?
Yes.
Participle.
Yeah.
The way to bring it back, Atlas.
Yeah.
Past participle. Yeah.
Participle.
No.
Oh, never mind.
Participle. Yeah. Anyways, when we got to
college,
the top,
university, whatever we get.
There was like a little place where you like two people could walk side by side with a railing and then beautiful view of the city. And then when you walked all the way around, there was like a flat part where you could walk along and like look down into like the square. And then there was like this little window, and then like a few steps down where into like a door. And as you go through the door, like this is where you go to get to like the other staircase that takes you back down. The door opens into a gift shop.
Look, the fact that like the Vatican has commodified itself so much,
and you have to walk past like the glass cases to get through to the place to leave. Like you have to walk past all of the nuns like standing there like, would you like a sweetie? Like,
is it nuns selling shit?
Nuns.
Because I was like, honestly, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, like, considering the Vatican has commodified itself, I think that it's always been kind of corrupt. I sent you something in the chat. Like, put it up.
What the fuck?
Put it up there. It's Pope Fights, which is there's a channel called Overly Sarcastic Productions, but the Pope Fights was basically when there was like an anti-pope who was like, I'm the Pope, and then the real Pope's like, no, I'm the Pope, and they would fucking like get in spats with each other. Yeah, Pope fight. Yeah,
genocide.
Well, because I think that the highest number was there were 3 at one point in time.
Yeah,
for a very short period of time. I think it was 3 that they maxed out on, and then assassins, right?
Yeah.
Catholicism, murder.
I just love that, like at a certain like popes were just like kings that like weren't allowed to like publicly have wives. That's what they were. Like for most of history, they were just kings that were just like, I mean, like we don't talk about it, but this is Bianca and this is my son Claudio. He's the general of my army, and that which is fun. Like, and then all of a sudden, like at a certain point in history, like everyone was just like, no, like they've always been biased.
Oh yeah, well no, but that's a whole other discussion just on the ridiculousness of look in even in the Greek Orthodox Church there are different positions that are like 7 times holier than Jesus, and you're like, wait, that's not how that's supposed to work. That's why it's the Pope is viewed, well, he's a saint, and you're saying, okay, listen. How about you use your incredible? The best part is, you know that the Vatican is now crying poor, right now, which you're like that. Yeah, you can go
sell some of your gold statues.
Well, the whole idea was that they are so commercialized in regards to how they're profitable that now
there's no tours.
There's no touring, right? So it's directly impacted a lot of their, because they had a lot of assets that people tour. Like that was part of the huge part of their income was owning historical properties. Mm-hmm. So, and that's why it's like, oh, what? Oh, you're gonna have to suffer like the rest of us with your gold seats? Fuck you.
Yeah, it's like the It's Always Sunny meme. Oh, did somebody go broke after thousands of years of corruption?
Yeah. Ta-da! Yeah.
Well, it's them and like, commercial real estate, like with office, like maybe they can just like look into like a work from home kind of structure. You know,
Listen, it's only going to be a matter of time.
You know,
it's just going to be a matter of time where people can bless you. You'll get an online blessing. Here you go.
Wow. You know what?
Everything lights up on your
This
screen.
conversation has been an online blessing, fellas. So.
What a fucking loser. Yeah. We started with video games and ended on that statement. Eat my ass. How about that?
All right. Well,
one
thing I want to leave with people, like, if you remember Crash Bandicoot, you're a good person because
yes, I do remember Crash Bandicoot.
Running those levels and jumping and smashing those boxes with his stupid run with that head that kind of
he definitely ran weird for sure.
Made you have a seizure while you're playing. You're just like,
I find that offensive.
Kind of feel Josh.
This is.
I'm kidding.
That's only because your head is the same proportion as Crash Bandicoot. Like it's bigger than your torso. Like, yeah, no, that makes total sense. But why Crash Bandicoot? That was not that great of a game.
Is that what it feels like when you have the seizure? Like, you know, when Crash Bandicoot got hit on the head and just like the birds would go around his head and he'd just be like, oh.
Kind of, yeah. Afterwards, you got like a lot of brain fog and everything hurts. So yeah, that's about accurate. Yeah.
All right. Well, if you remember one thing from today, guys, it's that Atlas is Crash Bandicoot, and that's it. That's all I want you to remember.
Okay, fine.
It's like when Shrek turns into a human. It's like if Crash Bandicoot got turned into a human, it would be Atlas.
Thick wavy hair, taut round buttocks. Yeah.
Massive face, just massive face.
Well,
oh my god, I'm like an Easter Island head.
Just chewing gum.
That's not nice. I'm sorry, Alice. It's really funny
though. We should tell the people where they can find us and shit.
That's true. You could find me on Instagram at Nick Fernandez Comedy. Also on Facebook, Nick Fernandez.
He also posts his nudes regularly there. So
I do follow. I do.
Taut round buttocks. That's Nick.
I have a few pictures with just a hint of shaft.
Yeah. What's the part of the penis that Nick's gonna show? Shaft.
Yeah.
All right. You can find me at Atlas Novak on Twitter or Instagram, or check out my other show at Nexus at Night in the same places.
Oh, I've been Dino the Genetic Marvel. You can find me. Just Google Dino the Genetic Marvel. It's just me. There's nobody else. That's If somebody else is impersonating me, that's fucking weird. Cause
that's like it's what's it called? Christopher. He's gonna impersonate you.
Christopher is definitely coming after you. He's an identity stealer. Let's be honest. Yeah, if your name is Christopher, that's fair. That's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Right,
you can follow us on Twitter at Generation Dan. Leave a like, leave a comment, review, tell your friends, all that good stuff.
Let us know if you want us to talk about something.
This has been a pleasure. And remember, Christopher Shaft.
It's horrible. Bye, guys.
Christopher Shaft. We'll see you next time.